What is going on, guys? This is Michael Williams from Cartoon Universe. I am joined by Hailey, and we have our last string of Star vs. Force of Evil episodes ever. It's super bittersweet. Some of these actually got announced a little while ago through various sources, but there are actually more episodes, and we now have the name and date of the finale. So I guess we could just kind of talk about what we think of every single episode title, what we think is going to happen, and how we think everything's gonna kind of play out. But the main focus here, I think, is gonna be how everything's gonna end and wrap up. So first off, we have Princess Quasar Caterpillar and the Magic Bell. Not sure what that is. Sounds like a Dr. Seuss book or something like that. Do you have any thoughts about that one?
I have no idea either. Like we haven't heard of this character, right?
I don't believe so. No.
Magic Bell. Oh, isn't there like the bell ball? I don't know. A ball with the bell.
Silver bell ball.
Yeah, that. There we go. That's the only thing I can think of with bells. Besides that, I'm not sure. Yeah.
Well, there's a children's book called The Last Caterpillar Princess, so that might be tied to the Star vs. Force of Evil canon now. I think that's what that's implying right now. Then we have a cornball, which obviously is just kind of a play on words. You have cornball, like you're a goofball, but also corn, which kind of connects to Muni. So maybe they have some sort of ball in Muni that celebrates corn. Maybe it's with Queen Moon's new village or whatever that she seems to be possibly building or something like that. Or some sort of retaliation to the monsters.
Oh, good. Yeah. Cannonball, cornball, is that what you're saying? Or like...
I mean, that's another
like,
possibility.
Yeah, like saying cannonball, cornball.
Except it's literally a cannon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shooting corn out.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. So that obviously ties into Mumins in some way, but we don't know for sure. I think right now Queen Moon and River are probably building some sort of village, and that's gonna have all the old Mumins who kind of got kicked out, or not kicked out, but they don't like Eclipse's rule, and things are kind of going to crap. So I think that might be related to that in some way. We might get to see a little more development with Moon and how she's kind of being a lot more open with people than she was in the beginning of the season. And then we have Ghost of Butterfly Castle, which Hailey, if you want to talk about what you heard of a possibility for this one.
Yeah, so a fellow fan I was talking with, she was mentioning how potentially this episode could be about Eclipse's father, which Alphonse was that?
Alphonse the Worthy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and how maybe that could have something to do with him because he's dead, but we know that like there's a painting of him that how he can talk still because he talked to Marco all the way back in season 1, and it really he hasn't been talked about in the show proper, has he?
Not really, no. Eclipse did talk to his painting to get through the little secret passage, but I don't think there's been any mention of his name in the series, but it was in the Book of Spells, if you guys read that. If you haven't read through all of it, you definitely should, because Darren FC did say that the Book of Spells is sort of like a season 3.5 that leads into 4 in a sense. So I think that makes a lot of sense. I don't think Alphonse the Worthy would just be mentioned for no reason, and this could possibly tie it back into the Blood Moon Ball because he is the painting that was talking to Marco in the first place, egging him on. So maybe everything's kind of coming full circle here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be interesting. I do want to mention, I think that the episodes in blue are grouped together, and the ones in white are grouped together. Because if you look on the 21st, you can see that there's just one at the bottom in white. So
yeah, I think you're
right.
Yeah.
Just to be safe.
Yeah, confusing graphic design. Sorry. But we're just gonna go in this order now since we're already pretty much done. But yeah, goes to the Butterfly Castle. Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. It could be another queen. There's so many different queens / princesses from the book that could possibly make an appearance here. There's just infinite possibilities, or maybe even multiple queens. Who knows? So that could be a thing. We could learn a little bit more about the backstory, how they all tie in. It could be possibly King Shashtakan. I don't know why it would be him because he was a spider bite. He wasn't part of technically Mumin royalty, but he was technically married to Eclipse, so he may have possibly been eaten in the castle or something, or maybe he just haunts the castle because that's where he was residing for a time. But maybe we'll learn a little bit more about why Glabgor ate him in the first place. So we get a little more backstory on that because we just kind of got the info and then it kind of just went away. So maybe that's it. But there's a lot of possibilities. A lot of dead people in Star, so there could be a lot of different people.
Wow.
Then we have Meteora's lesson. This one's pretty ominous. So this could go a couple different ways. It could be Meteora is getting some sort of lesson because she's a baby. Maybe she's getting babysat. Initially, when I saw this episode title, I thought it had to do with one of the trailers where Marco was kind of watching over Meteora, and Meteora like bit his hand. But we just saw that in a previous episode, so we know that's not the case. So that's some other thing. Or it could be Meteora teaching everyone else a lesson because it's heavily hinted at that she remembers what happened before she turned into a baby. So what do you think is happening with Meteora? Do you think she's getting lessoned, or do you think she's giving lessons?
I feel like they wouldn't mention her having memories if that wasn't going to happen in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I agree.
So I feel like the worst option would be she's teaching somebody a lesson, and that might be what it is.
Yeah, probably Marco. If that's,
poor Marco.
Rip Marco. And then we have the night shift, which in my mind I'm thinking has to do with the laundry again, but it could mean something else. Do you think it has any deeper meaning, or do you think it's just kind of a silly Marco laundry episode?
I think this could definitely be one of the more sillier episodes, because we're still getting those basically.
Yeah.
This season too. Yeah,
because there's a lot of episodes that we're getting throughout this, like just in this day alone, we're getting 2 full 30-minute episodes. So they have time to do a little bit of silliness. And then we have Queen Napped. That does not sound silly at all. No. That obviously seems to be that. Well, the show likes to do puns. So it could be that Eclipsa is getting kidnapped. Obviously, that would make a lot of sense. People are not liking Eclipse's role, so someone could have kidnapped her, or maybe she's staging her own kidnapping for some reason. A lot of people kind of suggested in the comments on one of our previous videos that she may have tried to yada yada herself for some odd reason, but it's possible she's trying to stage herself and look like more of a victim to people. That's definitely a possibility, but I don't know if that will work because no one likes her anyway. But you could also take it as she's asleep, like she's somehow not able to wake up, like she did some sort of spell or something and she got messed up. That's just kind of a reach, just kind of reaching out there, because Star and Steven are very similar in their episode titles, where they like to kind of play with words a little bit.
That's really interesting. I didn't consider that. When Queen also, you think Queen can only be referring to Eclipsa at this point?
It could be someone else. It could be one of the previous queens, like in a flashback or something. But I'm not sure who else it would be. I don't know if Moon technically counts.
The queen anymore? Is that like, would you say?
Yeah, like I don't know if Moon would be a queen unless, again, she's kind of building her own village. So maybe she becomes queen on a technicality. Yeah. But there could be another queen from another dimension or something like that. But I don't. There's no one comes to my head off top right away.
Oh. Yeah, gotcha.
And then we have Junkin Janna. Sounds like Janna has a drug problem, but obviously that's not what it's gonna be. Janna, I don't know. It's a Janna episode. So maybe we'll finally get an explanation as to how she even got to Muni in the first place. We kind of glossed over that. We didn't gloss over it. They did address it. Thank God. Thank you, Star Wars Force View writers, for making sure that Marco was like, hey, how'd you get here? Like, we're not done with this. We're getting back to this conversation. So I'm glad. So maybe, I don't know why it would take this long to get to that conversation, but maybe we'll finally learn how she got here. Does she have Marco's like extra scissors or something, or am I remembering things incorrectly?
I mean, I'm pretty sure she's like taken them and used them before. I don't know if she's still. Yeah.
So that could be it. It could be something that simple, but.
Like junking. What does junking mean? Like.
I don't know. It could be she just has a lot of trash. She has a lot of things to get rid of. I don't know. That's a good question. This is probably another silly one, more silly one generally, but I don't know what
like, speaking of the scissors, maybe she gets like addicted to jumping through dimensions or whatever. A junkie of that.
Oh my God.
Sport. Yeah.
I don't know if Disney would let them use that term in that manner unless it had to do with literal junk. I don't know. That's
this is something we gotta look at.
Janna is a mystery both in the show and outside of it. And then we have a spell with no name. Ooh. So I think we all pretty much know what this is probably referring to, and that's the spell to basically kill a person. That this was the spell used on Toffee. I don't believe that had a name, right? That was basically its whole thing.
Spell?
What's that?
One in season 1?
No, the one to kind of take his finger off. That was initially going to be used to take him out for good, but Moon ended up not doing that. So I think that has to tie into that. So I don't know. Yeah. Toffee's back, baby.
I'm always gonna believe. I'm a believer.
Daddy Toffee. Well, I think it's definitely possible.
Yes.
Yeah, I think Toffee could definitely come back. Glossaric kind of referred to Toffee like, yeah, you probably shouldn't have destroyed him, but we again kind of glossed over that. But that was like a huge line. I don't know why he would have said that otherwise, unless Toffee actually is supposed to play some sort of important role here. So that spell is usually directly related to Toffee. It could relate to Seth, possibly. All those who didn't read the Book of Spells, Seth is this character. He's of Septarsus, same race as Toffee. I don't know how they squeeze him in the last like half of the season. That's going to be kind of a tough order, but it's possible. But I think it obviously has to do with Toffee or the race of Toffee, essentially. And then we have a boy and his DC 700 XE. Initially, I thought this was like a vacuum or a guitar or something, but I think, yeah, I've seen some whispers on the interwebs saying it's probably Dragon Cycle, which would make sense because Marco's Dragon Cycle is alive, so to speak. It's kind of like a pet in a sense. And that would kind of be a play on a boy and his dog. So yeah, there you go.
That's interesting. Well, we get to see more. That means we'll see more of adult Marco,
right?
Which is I've heard is conflicting because like he remembers everything from being all those years around.
Yeah.
And now he was still in love with Star, who's like 15.
Yeah, that's always bothered me. I don't know what the.
At first I was like, maybe like, he doesn't remember things too clearly. Like it's kind of like a hazy dream, so it doesn't really count, but it seems like he remembers everything pretty well now. So, well, that happened.
Yeah, he like remembers it, but it seems he reverts back not only physically into a younger form, but mentally. But even though he has memories of like 30 years total, 30 something years, so I don't know how that really works. That doesn't. I don't know. Someone needs to ask Darren FC about that. Someone get on that one of these days.
Well, we're going to be at the Gallery Nucleus.
Yes, true.
Like, Darren.
Yeah.
What the heck?
This Saturday, Gallery Nucleus is doing like a Blood Moon Ball thing this Saturday. So maybe we'll ask Darren like, hey, is Marco? Is he a pedophile? Like, what's going on? What's happening here? But yeah, that's always bothered me. But so yeah, we're gonna get more adult Marco. We're gonna get more Thirsty Star. That actually might be an interesting trigger because they kind of had their bond severed or whatever from the quote unquote curse of the Blood Moon. So maybe with this, it kind of triggers feelings again or reminds her of her feelings, because she did say that it probably wasn't never the Blood Moon in the first place. She kind of hinted at that. So I don't know, maybe her thirst will bring more conversation to that. I don't know.
The apps have their own powers.
yeah maybe we'll get more bi Star.
Yeah.
Come at me. And then we'll have the monsters. The monster and the queen. So the monster and the queen, that obviously seems to be Globogorn Eclipsa, but it could be a reversal. It could be possibly Toffee and who was once Queen Moon, or Toffee and Comet, which was Queen Moon's mother, who he killed. Maybe it's a flashback.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, monster and the queen.
Okay.
And then we have Coronation.
I didn't until you said it out loud. I did not.
You didn't know? You didn't realize what it was?
That's amazing.
So this is obviously a coronation, but with a play on words with corn, because again, humans love corn. So this is some sort of coronation with Muni or Mumins. If you don't know what a coronation is, I'll pull up the exact definition right now. It is the ceremony of crowning a sovereign or a sovereign's consort. So this could be Muni kind of accepting Eclipsa finally, which could also tie into Monsters and the Monster and the Queen with Globgor somehow, or again going back to what seems to be Moon's village. This could be some sort of new coronation for Queen Moon to be the new queen of New Muni or something like that.
Yeah, I like the New Muni idea a lot, because I was just thinking like, because how they're built, what they're building. Like you're saying, it seems like they're gonna have humans that kind of got displaced or whatever, and they might end up having their own little kingdom, maybe.
Right. Yeah, because it's like a crowning essentially. So.
Interesting. I'm excited for this to see what happens there.
Yeah, because Eclipse already got crowned technically, but maybe it's if it is related to Eclipse, it also could just be the official ceremony and acceptance of her being the queen. So okay, and then we have Dupe Dupe. You got me there. I don't know. Dupe Dupe. What is Dupe Dupe?
I have no idea.
All right. Watch it be something really deep and crazy.
Right? Yeah.
Dupe Dupe. All right. Anyway, Britta's Tacos. It has made an appearance before. It's on Earth, actually. It's like
makes sense.
It's close to Marco's house. I'm on the wiki now. It's been 5 episodes. The first episode was Star versus Echo Creek, and that was a good one. And Conquer was the last one that it was in. So this is just kind of where they hang out and eat tacos. So I don't know what. So I guess they go back to Earth at some point, which isn't surprising. We still had Marco Jr. to deal with, but we'll talk about that soon, I think, in the next couple episodes. But yeah, this seems like it might be kind of, I guess, reminding them of their Earth days, possibly. And Star and Marco might, again, kind of be getting more feels. Or it could just be a casual, silly, quote-unquote, filler, whatever you want to call it, episode that doesn't have any bearing on the plot. Just has to do with the tacos. But I don't know what deep relation this place is going to have in the plot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe, yeah. I don't know. Could be important. I feel like meet up on Earth again. You never know.
Yeah. Then we have Beach Day. Oh, boy.
Oh.
Uh-oh. I'm scared. Okay. Ooh, Beach Day. So something's going to go down Beach Day, boy. I'm not ready. I've been saying for a while, I think this episode is a huge misdirection because Star was like, oh, I'm happy here. Everything's good here. Like, there's this huge assumption that for some reason, everything's fine in Beach Day. So I'm assuming something's going to go terribly wrong either right before or right after the picture's taken. If Tom's taking the picture... I don't know. There's something fishy about Beach Day, but I'm excited for Beach Day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been waiting for a while for this, so love me a beach episode.
And then we have Gone Baby Gone. So I am of the camp that this has to do with Marco Jr. in some way.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because my first thought was Meteora, but you got
could also be Meteora.
Yeah, she's gone. Like she could be gone. Like she regained her memories, or I'm leaving. I'm gone.
Yeah, that technically makes more sense.
Yeah.
But I only said Marco Jr. because he still has not made... none of these seem to necessarily directly relate to him. It could be... I mean, some of these are kind of ambiguous, so they could. But I don't know. I feel like we're not going to just have Marco's mom get pregnant for no reason. I did a whole theory on... I think that he's going to be born with Mumin cheek marks, and that's going to be the huge reveal that Marco's actually Mumin. That's my theory. I don't know if that's definite, but that's what I think is going to happen because I don't know what other purpose this baby serves in the plot. Yeah, like why? What?
That's not very
nice,
Michael.
What do you say?
That's not very nice.
Well, I mean, it's so random.
Especially in the last season, it's like, why?
Yeah, it's just so out of place. So I think there's something with this baby. And I think a whole episode dedicated to the baby could be interesting. But again, it could be Meteora, gains some memories back, becomes a threat of some sort. Especially if Globgor comes back, maybe it triggers something, I don't know, or Globgor corrupts her mind more. I don't know, more than it already is. So I don't know. But that's definitely interesting. That could go either way. All right. So then we have May 5th. So we're getting towards the end now. We have Sad Teen Hotline. And Jananigans. So we have another silly Janna episode.
Great.
Sad Teen Hotline. Boy, what do you think this is relating to?
The beach episode left Star wrecked, and
Damn.
he's on the sad teen hotline. Maybe it's a Ponyhead episode.
Could see that.
Because she likes dumb stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Do you think the sad teen hotline is an Earth thing, or do you think it's some weird Muni thing that they have, or I don't know. That could go a lot of ways. I think it's gonna have to tie into the shipping wars in some way. I don't know who's using it. It could be everyone. Maybe they're all using the sad teen hotline. You got Kelly on there. You got Tom on there. Tom, Marco, Star. Like they're all just struggling. This love octagon here that's going on.
Yeah. I think it's going to take place in a bunch of different places because they're all in different places, but they're all in the hotline. They're all talking on the phone or whatever.
Right.
So it's not one specific place, I'd say. But yeah, that's exciting if they're all there talking stuff out at the same time.
Yeah, that'd be interesting too. Shenanigans is a Jan episode. I don't have anything to say about that. she's up to her regular shenanigans. That's why it's called Shenanigans. Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
like some bigger importance to the plot.
That'd be crazy, man. I mean, that would explain her fascination with creepy, demonic, dark, gothic stuff. I mean, I feel like it's just a joke. She's just weird.
Yeah.
But that'd be pretty crazy if she was actually playing some deeper role here and how she was able to get the immunity. Maybe she doesn't even have scissors. I don't know. She's a little too good. Mm-hmm. She might know too much.
Yes, this is true.
Yeah. Then we have Mama Star, which it sounds like Star's babysitting Meteora, but that sounds weird. Maybe it's a future episode.
I did not. That's interesting because I actually, for some reason, just thought it would have to do with Marco Jr. because, just I don't know, babysitting him. But
that also makes sense.
We have two babies basically in the show right now, or one potential baby and one baby. So could be about either of them.
Yeah, that's a good point. I like how we reversed our baby mentality.
That's funny.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it could also be some crazy flash forward where Star is a mother because it might tie into because Father Time gave her the picture, so maybe there's something else that he gives her later, like some point during the season, or maybe we get some sort of vision from him that shows her as a mother, but we can't really tell whose baby it is, like if it's a Marco baby or it's a Tom baby, or I don't know.
Yeah, I think if it was Tom's baby, we'd be able to tell.
Well, maybe it's covered in a blanket or something, and we don't get to see exactly whose baby it is. I don't know, just something to tease the audience.
Yes, I want that. Okay. Please let this happen.
Yeah, and then we got Ready, Aim, Fire. I mean,
what's going on, or a battle? Sounds like it.
Yeah, sounds like it. It also could deal with Tom because he fire, something like that.
True.
Yeah, something like that, or someone's getting fired. I don't know who's getting fired from what, because no one really has any significant job. So that's the only thing I think of there. But otherwise, it might just be very straightforward. Just might be a battle. Then we have May 12th. We have The Right Way. This is probably a Ludo episode. I forgot about Ludo, man. We still have to throw. There's so many plot points going on here. I hope they're able to wrap it all up. We have The Right Way, which is kind of a callback to the previous episode, which was kind of a callback to The Hard Way, which was a Ludo episode where he was learning magic from Glossaric. So it probably ties back into Ludo, or it could just tie back into Glossaric teaching magic, but teaching it the right way to someone else. Could be Star or some other being of some sort.
Mm-hmm. We know that, Eclipsa was the only one to really listen to him.
Right.
I believe so. Maybe it has to do with her. Because she did it the right way. Everyone else, all the other princesses kind of rebelled against him, or it was like, no, I don't want to do it this way.
Right.
Yeah.
Then we have Here to Help. Toffee. Toffee's here to help. There it is. Toffee redeemed. Or Ludo redeemed. I don't know. That's all I got. That's all I got for that one. It's a hard read. Based off basically nothing. That's what I think.
Who would be here to help? There's a lot of characters that could help out. I'm not sure though. Yeah. Basically anyone. Probably Toffee, just to be honest here. Yeah.
Let me.
I just kind of want him back at this point.
Another possibility is that it's Ponyhead's boyfriend, who is constantly here to help because he's all about his customer service. So it could just be a Ponyhead episode.
I don't like that.
I don't like
I like
that.
who it might be. I like that he
Look.
might be part of it. But I don't like Ponyhead episodes in general.
A lot of people don't.
Yeah, she's not my kind of gal.
Honestly, I like him because he's just so weird.
He's okay.
Yeah, he makes me laugh more than he probably should. So if it's more focused on him than Ponyhead, I'm totally here for it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Pizza Party. Look up some pizza, see if it's old pizza thrown together. I don't in a Chuck E. Cheese. Is that what we're doing? I don't know what this is.
Wow. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, anything goes here. Hopefully, a happy time with everyone there, basically.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
The tavern at the end of the multiverse. I'm not sure what that is. That sounds insane. It sounds like something very Lowerfield. I feel like it might tie it into the Book of Spells in some way, but I can't think of what specifically at the moment without actually digging deeper into it. Yeah, I don't know. Sounds like low-key like a horror thing, but that's the second to last episode. So whatever it is, even Pizza Party, there's no way everyone's happy, or maybe they are happy, but it's like the calm before the storm, and then Tavern at the end of the multiverse happens, and it just absolutely goes insane. That's what I'm thinking is probably going to happen, but I don't know what's going to happen in Tavern at the end of the multiverse. That is not an easy episode to say. I'm not sure what's going to happen there, but mark your calendars. The last episode of Star vs. Force of Evil ever is May 19th, and it's going to be called Cleaved. That was, at first glance, I had absolutely no clue what this meant, but now we have a little bit of a hint.
MYKAL, have you been watching the show ever?
Well, okay, but I didn't remember the specific word cleaved.
Okay.
That was already mentioned, which was I was about to mention if you let me get to it. Glossaric, actually, at the end of season 1, or beginning of season 2, but probably end of season 1, I believe, he stated that or Queen Moon was contacting him, and she stated that the wand has been cleaved. And Glossaric stated, cleaved, that's an interesting word. You can cleave things apart. I'm paraphrasing, but you can cleave things apart, or you can cleave things together. So with that in mind, before I even say my piece about it, what do you think that means, or possibilities you think it means?
Star and Marco will be together. The end.
Yes, there it is. Yeah, you can cleave things apart or back together. So I think that's probably what it is. The wand actually probably, in a weird way, is probably some sort of representation of Star and Marco's relationship, because it got split apart and then it got back together again miraculously. So I think that's what's going to happen. We mentioned this in the video that Starco is probably still going to be a thing. That's probably still the end game. But I think it ties into more than just Star and Marco, because we know that this story, this show isn't just about Star and Marco per se, even though it is very integral to everything. I think it could somehow tie into the Mew-Min monster relationship, because it got cleaved apart and you can cleave it back together, something like that.
I think there's going to be many meanings of Cleaved in this
exactly
episode. Some together, some apart. It's going to be great. I love the monster and human thing. That would make so much sense to me.
Yeah, then you have Toffee. Toffee got cleaved apart, and maybe he's gonna come back and he's gonna be cleaved back together again. You could really piece this whole thing together, and maybe Cleaved is some strange overarching theme of the show. When you really look back at everything that's kind of happened, a lot of things kind of come apart, come back together. So I think that's what it's gonna be. But whatever it is, I'm super excited. I don't know. I hope it's an hour long. That would be a lot more satisfying than it's just 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll have to wait and see. We don't have an official word on that yet, but I believe the last season was a 2-parter finale, right? Season 3. So I'm hoping that this is also a 2-parter. just a whole big hour-long craziness. And then Star's usually pretty good about this. For their season openings and endings, they're usually pretty meaty. So I think it'll probably be an hour, but don't take my word. Don't take that. Don't quote me on that. I don't know that for sure, but I'm not ready. Cleave is gonna have a lot of feelings, I'm sure. I'm very glad it's not the same weekend as MomoCon. Thank you, Disney Channel. I appreciate that. But I can't wait. It's very, very bittersweet. So overall, this discussion has gone on a long time. What are your last thoughts, Hailey, on this list of episodes and this season?
For the most part, I mean, after discussing all this, I'm pretty excited. Like, there's a lot of potentially good stuff here. It doesn't seem like, honestly, there's too many episodes I'm not looking forward to just by the name alone.
Yeah.
So that's
up here to help.
What?
It's up here to help if it's a Ponyhead one.
Maybe with Ponyhead. I'm like, eh. But she already got an episode this season, so hopefully we get too much spotlight. Although she'll probably help out at the end, because that's what finales are for.
Yeah. I think we'll have a big coming together of all the different characters and plot points. We haven't seen Oscar in a hot minute, so I don't know. Maybe he'll do a little thing. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I'm very excited. I'm partially nervous because I feel like, especially with cartoons, it's really hard to nail the finale, especially like recently. I just haven't been feeling a lot of the finales and like closings of certain arcs and stuff. So I really hope they nail it. Star's been very good with their pacing, like at least like post like season 2 or so. They've been very good with it, very satisfying, rewarding stuff. So I'm excited, but I'm also sad it's ending. But I'd rather it end now than it go on for 20 years and become a terrible show. But we're going to be covering more of this. If there's any other pieces of information that comes out regarding these episodes, whether it be the length or any other hints from previous episodes, foreshadowings, theories that rear their head that we might want to talk about, we'll definitely let you guys know. So if you're new here, definitely subscribe, hit that notification bell because you don't want to miss that. And the next episodes that are coming out are, let me pull up my handy dandy computer here. We have Princess Quasar Caterpillar and the Magic Bell, Ghost of Butterfly Castle, Cornball, and Meteor's Lesson. So we're going to get some pretty meaty stuff right off the bat starting Sunday. So we'll probably cover that in some way, shape, or form. Either do a stream post-episode or we'll do a sort of theory video, depending on what happens in the episode. So don't want to miss that. And if you enjoyed this discussion, be sure to leave it a like. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I've been Michael Williams, joined by Hailey, and we'll see you in the next one.